Campaign clashes across Northern California today. President Biden announcing initiatives to fight climate change while looking to fundraise for his re-election campaign. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, a GOP rival, also on the campaign trail. We have live team coverage tonight. Our political reporter Greg Lee gets us started from the newsroom. And Greg, this is the start of a three-day trip through the Bay Area.
Yeah, Julie, for the president, the bulk of this trip dedicated to fundraising. Today, President Biden touting his record on climate change. He was last here in January touring storm damage. Mr. Biden saying today he was glad to be here looking to the future instead of responding to a disaster. Air Force One touched down at Moffett Federal Airfield in Mountain View Monday. President Joe Biden greeted by Governor Gavin Newsom, Congresswoman Anna Eshoo, and other dignitaries as he begins a three-day swing in the Bay Area.
These wetlands act as a critical buffer between the rising tides and the communities at risk, protecting homes, property, and infrastructure against flooding.
The president toured a coastal wetland area at Lucy Evans Balin's Nature Interpretive Center and Preserve in Palo Alto. Biden touted his record on tackling climate change and announced $575 million to help coastal and Great Lake communities become more resilient to extreme weather.
Historic investments in developing clean energy by reducing dependence on fossil fuel, and resilience, which means communities can better withstand the impacts of climate change.
This state prides itself, again, on being on the leading and cutting edge of this transition. And we're proving we can do it and grow our economy.
The money comes from the Inflation Reduction Act. The president also announced $2 billion, including $67 million for California alone, to modernize and protect the electrical grid. Last week, 4 environmental and conservation groups endorsed the Biden-Harris ticket, despite criticism of new fossil fuel projects.
It's also for the Biden people about joining that blue-green coalition to talk about their accomplishments, about what they want to do, all in the guise of re-election.
President Biden also using the trip to raise money for his re-election bid ahead of the end of the fundraising quarter at the end of June. After holding his first campaign rally in Philadelphia Saturday, Biden is headlining fundraisers in Los Gatos and Atherton.
Is about raising money, is about going into those networks of well-funded folks, the folks you have to hit in Silicon Valley and in California, right? California being the ATM of American politics.
President Biden will hold another fundraiser in Marin County tomorrow before leaving the Bay Area on Wednesday. Now, today, he was asked on the tarmac about Governor DeSantis being in Sacramento, the same place he sent migrants. The president reportedly said, quote, "It's hard to comment on things like that." In the newsroom, Greg Lee, KTVU, Fox 2 News. Julie.
Greg, thank you.